Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Spurs statement signing. Spurs smash 4 past the Villa at Villa Park. Ange-r Management is back. Let's do this. Good morning once and all, everyone. I hope you're all good. I have to say, look at Johnny just sliding in. Not sliding into DMs, but sliding into the stream.
Blimey.
Johnny, how are you, brother?
I'm all right. I've been struggling along, not been feeling too great, but I wouldn't be missing this today. No chance. It certainly helps the recovery watching a game like that yesterday.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, all positive. All positive on the Tottenham front.
It is. It was great. I mean, my health hasn't been great last week, but there's no way I won't get into the Scotland Yard. We did the double header. A lot of us stayed behind to watch Man City Liverpool. But before Johnny does his thing about this show, I just want to quickly state something to people. After last week's show, whether it be the title or what Johnny and I said, some of the comments, bots and trolls, came out in full effect. Now, I'm going to make this very, very clear, and then Johnny will do it in his style. We do this on a game-by-game basis, not on the season or games gone by or games coming up. Last week, we did it solely on the Crystal Palace performance. Everything we spoke about was the Crystal Palace performance. Today, everything will be about Aston Villa. During this show, every single week, we will discuss the negatives, should there be any. And yesterday, there's only one, and it's me nitpicking, and I mean nitpicking. The positives, which there will be many. Special mentions, and today, Johnny and I have decided we're going straight through the team because the whole team needs a discussion. And then Ange Postecoglou. No one here has said Ange out. No one wants Ange out. Everyone loves Ange. This show is based on game by game. So if someone has something negative to say, that is their interpretation of the game, and we move on. So the silly comments that came in last week, I don't even think watched the show. Just like to come and give it some of that. Johnny, give your interpretation of.
Listen, I had it here. I actually had it worse on with Sean the other week when I dared say negative about Ange. Right? These shows. What would be the point of the shows if we sat here every game, no matter what, and said amazing, fantastic? I mean, what is the point? There's no point. We might as well not be here, right? Because I don't walk around with my head buried in the sand, okay? I'm going to talk about the positives. I'm going to talk about the negatives. And as Brian quite rightly said, this is game by game basis, right? So when these people, when certain people, not the people that have been with us a long time and understand how this works, tune in and hear me say, Ange, unbelievable. Like we're unbelievable. We're having an unbelievable season. And I just heard that guy, mate. Listen to the context, okay? We micro analyze what is going on, but we're not stupid. If we all zoom out and go back to the start of the season and say, where would your dream be for this time? Then for where we are now, we would have all bitten our hands off, right? Yep. We're not stupid, okay? But we are allowed to comment, and this is what this is all about. Our interpretations. We don't expect you to agree. Football is about opinions, right? Okay. And as they say, they're like arseholes.
Exactly. And before we get into the game, let's just say hello to everyone that is here.
Oh, people have turned up.
Oh, mate, there's already 146 people here. So thank you for tuning in, everyone. We really appreciate it. Heath, I'm not say good morning because I don't know what time the world is. Our clocks went forward yesterday, so we're only 4 hours behind you till the end of the month instead of 5. So,
Heath, sorry, mate. With the greatest respect, you have not heard ever.
That's not from us. That's in general. The stupid guys that have been saying.
Just for anyone else who's reading that.
Yeah, three-legged dog. Hello to you, Mr. Sweden. Hello. Who? Oh, that's me. That's me. Yona, Mr. Finland is in the building. Big up, Colin Cross. Big up, good sir. I think someone's going to get a very big mention when we get there, and I cannot wait when we do it player by player to get someone. Mr. Chris Angeball, I hope you're good, brother. Kookaburra, Gabriel, Ash, how are you, hun? Rayman is here. Swarog is here. Fran, good morning, darling. Benjamin Foster is here. Scott M is here. Bringing his usual happiness and joy. KPV, thank you for your 2-month membership. Big up Aston Villa, holding that. I had and Van der Ven Watkins in his back pocket. We got revenge. I'm loving Big Ange instead. Big up. Dean Sinclair, big up. Who else? We've got Tweak is in here. Rich is here. My little brother Ryan is here. Oh my God, he's saying that. Well done, Ryan. Well done. Wilson, big up to you. Who else?
You must be tired from the journey back.
Lazy 8 is here. Zach is here. Good morning. Another membership chat. I'm not bad about Johnny's criticism. I'm mad we stopped doing fly updates. Yeah, are they gone, Johnny? Are they gone?
They're gone. But listen, summer's approaching.
Exactly what I was about to say.
All you fly lovers, all you fly lovers out there, is it possible that the boys may be back? So,
Kev G, big up to you, sir. I hope you are good. Andrew Gregory, a top man of mine. How are you, sir? Just with Andrew Gregory in the mind up there, people remember we were going to be doing our mental health special on February the 25th. Unfortunately, due to my health, it was absolutely impossible. We will still be doing it and honouring it. We're just trying to find a time that works. It's a big production we put on. It may be the easiest way to do it near the end of the season before the Euros. So it is coming. We will not be neglecting the work we do for mental health. Chang, who I had a great chat with yesterday, his daughter as well started primary school for the first day in Malaysia. I hope that all went well. Big up to you. Tottenham Hotspur Fans TV, Ange out, morning guys. Ryan McFarlane, good morning. In a coma, Tempers Fugit. Who else is here? Eamon Bones, good morning. And that is all. And Ben Blackman has just joined. Okay, so Johnny, let's break this down. Do you have a negative?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Let's see if we have the same one.
Look, obviously the obvious one in the room. Okay, we all know what that is. The two of them, to be honest. But the one I really want to talk about that's alarming me considerably is the referees. This isn't a one-off, right? This is happening week in and week out. Since what happened at Liverpool, it feels like the payback. People have forgot to take the post-it note off the board of the PGMOL to say punish Spurs. Okay, payback Spurs. That game yesterday, there were some challenges on our players that went completely unpunished.
Yeah.
Papasal goes into a challenge, right? He slips over on Tielemans. He slips, doesn't go in. Even on the TV, they said, "Well, how's that yellow?" It's nowhere near a yellow. Madison is running back out the goal. He gets hacked from behind, not even a yellow. And let me tell you, that McGinn challenge, he didn't even look like he was going to book it, let alone give him a red card. I think he got something in his ear. I'm convinced that one of the touchline judges said something to him. I'm just concerned as the season goes on now. I saw it at Palace. I've seen it at nearly every game the last few seasons. Last few weeks, not seasons. For me, it's a real concern that we need to speak to them. I know Ange doesn't want to do that. I was watching that Arsenal game the other night against Brentford, and the pressure that Arteta and those players were putting constantly on the referee and the fourth officials the entire game. And Ange says, I don't want you doing any of that. I do worry that, this could come to haunt us in the big games. I'm not worried about these games, but when we play the Man City, the Liverpool, the Chelseas and the Arsenals, do you really want to be in a game when we're playing the scum up the road and we're just sitting there like, okay, anything you say, ref, and they're in his face. I don't want to be that. I want to match fire with fire, aggression with aggression. Yesterday there was a lot of aggression, so that's my first negative. I'll let you go with the obvious one.
Okay, my obviously Mickey van de Ven going off injured is a huge negative.
Yeah.
We'll find out how huge it is. Mickey did come out and say, apparently through Ange, saying that he feels it's minor, it's nothing major, but obviously we'll wait to see what the scan says. Me nitpicking, and this is really, really nitpicking. I thought some of our passing in the first half was quite sloppy, and Romero did it a couple of times in defense. And this is me really, really nitpicking because there were some good moments in the first half.
But it's the truth. It's the truth, Brian. Yeah, that's what this show's about.
Exactly. That's the only thing. I think some of the passing in the first half was a little bit off. Listen, that it's night and day, the first half performance to the second half performance across the board. Second half we were extraordinary. But yeah, I just felt that the first 20-25 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, our passing was just a little bit sloppy at times, Johnny.
Listen, look, the thing was, I thought Godebnin was very, very clever initially. He didn't feel that he needed to win that game by submitting defensively. So he played 5 at the back, which was very brave, and they'd never played it before.
Yep.
And do us on the counter attack. And I got to be honest, at half time, I thought that system was working because the ball over the top, we were playing 2-on-2. We were playing Watkins and Bailey right on with Alto at the back, almost inside our own half. Very, very risky. And he felt that they could exploit that. And I could understand why. But yeah, look, obviously Angeball is there to tire players out. I thought it was a big risk, but at the end of the day, we overcome them. I've got to say,
good point.
This isn't going to go down well. I just do think that the was some of that game in the second half. I did say at half time I expect Villa to tire considerably because of the fact that they had a really hard game at Ajax. So it didn't surprise me they tired, and we came on to our game in the second half, especially the way we start after Ange's had his half-time team talk. So for me, I hope it's not one swallow doesn't make a summer, and we go on and we destroy Fulham. It's crucial now we go on to a win.
Massive.
But the other negative I wanted to mention that I was a bit concerned about was it was obvious at half time that Dragusin was warming up. So they were obviously aware that there was an issue with Mickey van de Ven when he came off. Okay. The 2 challenges, the one where he got Romero out of trouble and the other one later on where he did another block. They obviously knew he was in trouble. Why take the risk? Because he could have aggravated this injury. Definitely could have aggravated it. So I hope it wasn't a risk too far. Papa Sarr's also got a back issue, which is why he came off. Hopefully that's nothing serious. Probably because he was carrying Basuma for large parts of the second half that his back was hurting. But all the rest was positive.
Yeah, now I have to say one thing I will say with Villa as well, and Match of the Day highlighted it brilliantly in their analysis after the game. I watched that last night. We had a couple of Villa fans that came with Spurs fans at the yard yesterday, and right throughout the game, as soon as it kicked off, they're going, Emery's changed it. Emery has actually, which threw a lot of Aston Villa fans off because obviously at home they had that run of consecutive wins at home, and that's what Villa had been doing all season. I actually thought we were going there. It was going to be a really open end-to-end game, which it was at parts, but they changed their system to try and block us in or pen us in, and it worked against them. And you saw from the stats Match the Day brought in, it was a mistake that they made trying to adapt and change the winning formula. But my brother from Australia, Mr. David Child, get well soon, buddy. He's not been feeling too great as well. A top supporter of all the channels, especially this one. Good day, Brian Jones. Sorry I was rough, but come on, you Spurs. Let's make that our standard and standard and up. Great to see you both. Always good to see you, my man. And someone that's always been keeping an eye on me. Kate, how are you, darling? I hope you're good. Right, that is
the battle of the high lines, wasn't it, yesterday?
It really was. It really was. But do you know what? Let's just make some people who decided last week to make their stupid comments because of the negatives. That's it. That's it. Positives, Johnny. Off you go.
Oh, hang on, let me give me a moment. I got to think.
And let me just say, there's 300 people in here already. Thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it.
Let me try and think of something positive, Brian. Can you give me half an hour, Brian? Look, I don't know what he does to them at half time. I don't know what sort of what he pops in their tea, or whether he gives them the Gettysburg Address or whatever. But he inspires them at half time. I think they were fired up. I always call it for regression. You see, I was a little bit upset that Romero had dialed down his aggression. I mean, he hadn't had a booking for weeks. It's fantastic. But I think, I feel like it'd been dialed down to 0, and he's been amazing. But I just wanted it to dial up. And I loved that second half. Yeah, we won. We scored the goals. But I loved the aggression. I loved the will to win. I loved the fact that they were a brotherhood, all one for each other. When that tackle went in on Destiny, I loved it. The guy who I've given him a lot of grief, and I hold my hands up that he needed to be more aggressive. Brennan Johnson, he was there. He was the first one in that line, pushing McGinn with his finger in his face. Right?
Yeah,
I love that because I think as this season progresses over the next 10 games, having that fight and determination and togetherness is going to be crucial to get us through what is going to be a really tough run of 5 fixtures. I just thought that it was good. What I liked even more was the fact that Ange said that he wasn't overly happy with our front line, because I've been saying it all season. We've not clicked. Our front line's not clicked. And there were many times yesterday, even in that 4-0 win, where we overpassed it and we didn't, utilise the 11 on 10. And he identified that. And that's great, because I love the drive, the positive drive to say, 4-0 was good, but really it should have been more. And it definitely should have been. So, yeah, that was a real positive for me, the aggression. Obviously, coupled with the performance. Go on, Brian. I'll come back.
Yeah, just got a few super chats to go through. First of all, Phil P, my brother, was Mickey injured because of volley in his pocket? Woo! Yeah, listen, he really was, wasn't he? He really was. Lee Smithy Smith, big up, my brother. Hope you're good. And then another one from Phil. From experience, Greek blokes go mad at half time. Yeah, listen, I'll piggyback with what you were saying in the second half, and it's been happening quite a lot this season, but especially since the Brentford game, we seem to be explosive in the second half. Absolutely, we have these bursts, these periods, whether it be 10 minutes, whether it be 25, whether it be 35, we just come to life in that second half. People will go, you say second half Tottenham with Conte. Recently, I'm not comparing I'm just looking at the start, not the stars of football, but the actual game management. The second half, like I said, Villa could have been tiring, but it's been a constant theme for Spurs recently that in the second half we seem to come live. But what I have to say is when I look at the positives, the clean sheet, to me, don't knock the 4 goals and lethal finishing when the opportunities came. If people look, we had 5 attempts on target and 4 goals. 80% hit rate, which obviously is very, very good. But we haven't kept a clean sheet. You got to remember, we haven't kept a clean sheet.
17 games.
Or one and away game since Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Since Nottingham Forest. We keep up that record of scoring in every single Premier League game. But for me, that clean sheet, to me, is massive. And not just that, what I am taking as a huge positive from that is this is a game for me, and I've just seen Ray the Yid is in the building. Ray, I hope you are good. My very, very dear friend. He's had a wonderful weekend with his family, so big up to Ray. I I hope everyone had a wicked weekend with their family. Mother's Day. How dare Tottenham play on Mother's Day or Mother's Day fall on Tottenham Day, whatever way you want to look at it. But yeah, that clean sheet and getting that performance where I thought yesterday, if anything else but a win, top four was done. Any top four would have been done if we didn't get a win. To get that 4-0 score for clean sheet, I just think there's so many positives. Johnny, what's another one for you?
What, and McGinn missing for the next 3 games?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, let's just very, very quickly that foul. I actually can't believe there's a discussion going on of whether that was a yellow or a red.
What was the referee? The referee didn't even look like he was going to give a card, Brian.
You know what? I'm still. I have to say, and I know we criticised the ref, but I actually want to give him a little bit of credit for actually giving that a red card for being at home. If that had been if that had been a Tottenham player doing it to Villa, that red card would have been out instantly. But he was at home. In all the grief that referees do deserve, for him, however he came to that decision, it was the right one. It was the right one, Johnny.
I saw people saying, "How was that even How was that even a red card?" I said, "Have you looked at the definition of a tackle? It wasn't a tackle; it was assault, right? It was an assault, right? I mean, I thought it was not funny, but when Destiny jumped up to grab hold of him and then realised he was in pain and had to go straight back down again. Look, it was the first time Villa haven't scored a goal at home. It was the first time Villa, the opposition team, obviously had kept a clean sheet. There was so many positive individual performances in the game, which we will get onto. The fans, I thought, were fantastic. You'd hear them throughout. I mean, I was absolutely gutted because I actually got a ticket for yesterday's game, but I just was not well enough to go up, Brian. And when we dragged up to Burnley, and we've been to the ends of the earth for games, and for me, Burnley is a short jog up the motorway, probably an hour and a half. So I was a bit gutted that I wasn't there bouncing up and down with the boys as those goals went in and celebrating. That feeling when you go to an away game and you come back with a victory, I don't think there's anything else. I mean, I know you guys who are the home fans and you go and you come back and you drive back. That's great, yeah. But when you've driven so far, or you've made such an effort to get there, the whole build-up and everything, and the camaraderie and team spirit for an away game is something else. If you ever get a chance, it's very difficult, but if you do ever get the chance to get to an away game, it's an experience. It's a drug, and which is why so many of loyal Tottenham fans, there's probably out watching here, just cannot give it up. So big up to them, because they were fantastic yesterday supporting the boys, and you can see that the players really, really appreciate it. Let's hope we do it again at Fulham the weekend. Should we go into the...
We're doing the special mentions. We got a super chat from Coover. I just see very quickly. Am I the only one that thought Udogie wasn't hurt, but realised he had to play fit up or the car? Yeah, listen, he got up, mate. Do you know what I loved?
It was hysterical, man.
He got up, and do you know what? I think when he got up, I don't think he fell down for brain injury. I personally think he went down because if he'd carried on and got his hands on McGinn, he would have been sent off as well, because he just picked up like a Terminator ready to go. What do you think, Johnny?
Well, I got to tell you, the one thing that's really upset me, and I don't want to harp on about this, the dark arts, right? I know he doesn't want the dark arts, but there was an incident when Spurs played Brentford, and I think it was Malpai or Tony, I can't remember, went straight in on Pedro Porro. It was a really bad challenge, right? The referee's called him over. It looked like he was going to give him a yellow card. Porro jumps up, goes over to the player, and basically...
That must be wrong.
I told you.
Well, we'll see. Listen,
it's bullshit. Brian, he shouldn't have come out for that second half, right? No. He shouldn't have come out for that second half. We knew... As soon as I saw Dragusin, we knew that there was something, right? Anyway, what I was going to say was that
this is someone I've known for 40 years. Big up, Stuart, my brother. I hope you're good. Go on, carry on, Johnny.
Yeah, so what I was going to say, Tony's gone right. I think it was Tony or Malpai gone right through Porro, and the referee's called him over. It was a shocking challenge, right? Porro's jumped up, and I thought he's going to go over and remonstrate with him. Do you know what he did? He went and shook Tony's hat or Malpai's hand, and went like that to the referee, and the referee just waved it away. You wouldn't get that. You would not get that if you were playing Arsenal. They'd still be on the ground. They'd all surrounded him. I just think those dark arts, and I thought Destiny yesterday. I don't know whether it was dark arts and he remembered the role he's meant to be playing, or he was genuinely hurt, Coover. So I'm not 100% sure, but I'm really fuming now about Mickey, right? Because why did he come out in that second half? I was saying to people, someone's obviously injured, right? Is it Romero? Because if he's not, why is he warming up like that? That wasn't a little warm up. That was an intensive warm up. Intensive.
Johnny, do you remember last week? Last week, you and I were doing this, and I said if there's one player, if someone could say there's one player that stays fit the whole season, without even thinking, for me, it's Mickey van der Ven. He is pivotal to everything we do, high line, everything. And let's just hope it's not 3 months. Is it 3 months? That's his season done.
Well, his season.
That's his Euros. That could be his Euros done. Which would be heartbreaking for him, because I think he's been one of, if not the best defender in the league this season. And that may be bias. I just think he's absolutely magnificent. But special mentions,
got one in the Euros, didn't he?
Special mentions. We are now going to go only for games like this. It's rather than bouncing back and forward and thinking of players, we're going from 1 to 11, and we'll do the subs as well, because some of them had a big impact. So, Johnny, your start, Vicario.
2 good saves. Yeah, I mean, you know, he didn't have a lot to do, did he? He made 2 good saves. He got the biggest save he had to make was right at the end when he got that blow on the head. I think, guys.
Yeah, I'd say I don't know why Tottenham at all, Ben. You've got that wildly inaccurate, showing me that 396 people are in here with us.
Yeah, I could also say, guys, look, if you're in here for the first time, please subscribe and like. Subscribe doesn't cost you any money. It's just to notify you when we're on. And if you're in the house, it's good manners, like when you come in and take off your shoes, so you don't dirty the carpet, that you give the channel and the show a like, because it helps our algorithm and it helps us grow the channel. Sorry to ask, but it does help us out. I'd really appreciate it.
I just want to put a disclaimer in as well, and link this back to a certain dickhead that runs this football club. Unlike Tottenham Hotspur, to subscribe to us or join waiting lists that we don't have, we don't charge £25 to go on a waiting list to guarantee your seat. You push subscribe, it's free. You push like, it's free. Simple as, unlike our great football club's owners. Right, Vicario has to get it in there. Sorry, I was wondering how I can get something Levy in or Levy out into the show, and I managed to do it. So, Vicario, like I said, rather quiet game for him, but he had a couple of saves. He made a couple of saves where the ball hit him. It wasn't much. He just spreads himself so wide and so big that
Schmeichel.
Yes, very, very much like Schmeichel. So yeah, listen, I don't know where to start with fullbacks, because we'll go. I'm going to start with Pedro Porro. My love for this man. It is clear for this football club that we are without these two together. We are a completely. You could take any other 2 players out, I think, and we could still probably get away with playing the way Ange wants to play. Take these 2 out, and we are a completely different outfit. And Pedro Porro in the first half was magnificent. In the second half, I think when we get to Destiny obviously took over. But the understanding these 2 have together, you know that we've seen all season the comparison to the great back 4 of Walker, Rose, Vertonghen, Toby. These 4, if they have that amount of time to play together, will be spoken about in this bracket. And for me, Pedro Porro, who is someone at the start of this season I never wanted to see in defence, is one of the people I really hope is first name on the team sheet every single week. I absolutely adore Pedro Porro, and I thought he was brilliant yesterday, Johnny.
Passion, fight, determination.
Everywhere.
That's exactly what I want to see. You know, the will to win. Him and Romero are archetypical of what I want in my team. A team of players like that. I thought his two standout moments in the entire game were probably number one, edging it, was the recovery to get Basuma out of jail after that horrendous pass, which looked like it was going to result in a goal.
Yeah, first of all, why did Ollie Watkins, for the love of God, I mean, thank God he did, the man who is probably one of the most red-hot players in the Premier League, even attempt to pass that ball?
I don't know, but Porro, to get back to block the shot and do what he did was phenomenal. And then the other standout moment for me was his link play with Kulu for the first ball that set Sarr free down that right-hand side. It was fantastic. The interplay between Porro and Kulu was fantastic. Look, we call him inverted right backs. He's not bloody right back. I mean, he's like, some of the time he looks like he's playing as a 10. He's playing look, the whole thing about Angeball, there is no sort of set positions, right? If you see space, you drive into it, right? You drive into it. Doesn't matter if you're a right back. Doesn't matter if you're a left back. Doesn't matter if you're a centre back. See space, drive into it, make the opposition react. And when they react, that creates other space for other players to run into. I don't feel that a lot of the games this season, we've been progressing the ball very quickly. I don't feel we do progress the ball very quickly without Destiny and Porro and that midfield in place. Now we have, then hopefully we can go back to our old ways. But he was outstanding. Number 3, yeah? I'm going to have...
Go across the back 4, whatever you want to do.
No, I'm going to go Destiny.
All right.
Destiny, honestly, Destiny, what can you say about this 21-year-old? I mean, I was so excited about him. I was telling everybody how I was amazed that we managed to sign him in the first place from Udogie, because looking back, I think he was in the top 5 rated left backs in Europe. It was only our link with our guy at Spurs who had signed him and bought him to Udogie that we managed to tie him in to get him. This is a player who thought he was going to come and play for Spurs as a wing back under Conte.
Yep.
He comes to play for Ange and has to learn to play as an inverted left back. This is against all his natural instincts as a player. Because if you see him at Udogie, he hugs the wing, he picks up the ball wide, he drives down the flank, cuts in and shoots. He doesn't have that space playing for Spurs, because when you're inverted, you're running into traffic all the time. But his energy, his ability to get up, to get forward, to get back, to shut out challenges, to shield the ball. I can go on and on. And when people say, at the age of 21, why are we got not more youth players coming through? When you look at a guy who's just 21, I could maybe name 1, potentially 2 at most players in our academy around that age that would have any hope of getting into our squad. They don't have the levels and the ceiling that this guy has got to achieve. I don't know where he's going to go though. I still see his future, Brian, as a left winger, because I think
you see another Gareth Bale change.
I've been saying it.
Sorry, just one second, Johnny. 1 second. Ian Cook, thank you very much for becoming a member. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the Tottenham On Tour family. There will be a lot more content coming from us. Obviously, with me being unwell, I can't commit to many live shows. This one I will always make sure. But there will be a lot more pre-recorded stuff coming from me and more content coming your way. And thank you for becoming a member. Carry on with what you're saying about Destiny, Johnny. Sorry.
I've said it and I'll keep saying it. And I said it about Gareth Bale. He's no left back, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. I just see him roaming down that left-hand side, No one's seen him cutting onto his right foot and shoot yet. He's hardly seen that. That's what I saw at Udogie. Once he motors his upper body strength and power, you're not pushing him off the ball. You're just not going to do it. And I think we're missing sometimes on that left-hand side players to take on and drive at the defenders, cause trouble, draw free kicks. I thought it was outstanding yesterday. Probably one of the top 2 or 3 in the team.
He was. Listen, when it comes to Destiny, I can't remember a player I've been waiting or look forward to the evolution of him throughout his Spurs career, because, like you said, he came to play as a left wing back in a Conte system, and he's adapted to this role. And like you said, once he gets going, just like the foul that got McGinn sent off, he's nigh on impossible to stop. He just grows into games, and the stamina and engine on this man to just keep going and going and going and going. He'll be making a tackle back, left back for us, and then the next minute, within 10 seconds, he's the furthest guy forward. Just the pure power of this man is just incredible. And I have to say hello to International Observer, someone I haven't seen for a while, and everyone. There are 451 people watching us as we speak right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, when it comes to the 2 centre-backs and I get to pick which one I'm going to talk about, there's only one I'm going to pick every single time. And it's, for me, if he hadn't been injured, player of the season. For me, one of the best defenders in the Premier League right now. It's Mickey van der Ven, who is just pivotal to everything we do. Everything we do. If you look at the records, when these back 4 are there, we've hardly lost. I think we've only lost to Chelsea when the back 4 are together. The other defeats have come when one of them have been out. Until he went off again, he was superb. Even that last-ditch tackle, which looks like it may have flared up the injury. As you were saying, John, it looked like he might have been injured during the half-time, and they're assessing it. Obviously, wrong to bring him out. But this man, I mean, like I said, Jan Vertonghen, my second ever favourite Spurs player of all time. This man is fastly going to be approaching, and he's going to have a rival, Jan, because this man is just the most elite thing I've seen in recent times. He's just magnificent, John.
He's Jan with pace. Look, I got to tell you, the hamstring injuries are a serious concern. We've seen what happens with Reece James. We've seen what's happened with Sessegnon. And now we're seeing it with Mickey. He's been out for 3 months. He could be out again. They're saying again for another 3 months. You can't rely on that in the season. And if he is injured again for 3 months, Spurs are going to have to go out and buy another backup left centre back.
Yep. So go complete the defensive unit. We do Dragusin when we do the subs, Johnny. So we won't talk about
Romero. Let's be honest, right? He made a couple of mistakes. He misjudged the bounce for Watkins, and made a bad pass. But after that, second half, he was sublime. No one went past him. He made every tackle, won every ball. He's the yin to Mickey's the yang, basically.
Can't agree more with you. They remind me, in all honesty, if I was to compare them to a partnership in time gone by, not saying at the elite level that they got to, but I think they can. The Romero van der Ven reminds me perfectly of Vidic and Ferdinand. You got the one hard as nails, rock, really, really strong in the tackle, and then you got the flair one in Rio being Mickey. I think Romero, apart from a couple of sloppy passes, his awareness, his positioning, and the thing that amazed me so much was his calmness. There are a couple of moments where obviously it was all geared up for the Cash versus Romero, and is he going to lose his head? Is he going to whack one on him? And I thought once the McGinn thing had happened, he was going to start going nuts. He was so calm yesterday. Did you see Brian when it all kicked off? I thought I saw Romero running in. I was thinking, oh my God, no, he was there. He was there pulling them apart. I was like, it's amazing to see it from him. But like you said, Johnny, he was superb there. Now listen, when it comes to midfield, there's I get to pick for. I've got to pick. He's a star man, magic on the ball. This guy, who Johnny, you and I have been waxing lyrical about for a long, long time. I know Lee Harvey is in here, who nicknamed him the lawnmower, and I used that in a tweet yesterday. He is just magnificent. And not only magnificent, do you know what? First of all, the cross was one of the best things of that game yesterday. We haven't seen a cross like that from the right wing for God knows how long. But you know the thing I loved about it the most? He almost fell over before crossing that ball. He made it even harder. He goes, let me have a little slip. And then carry on running. What a pass. What a player. Again, another one whose engine just goes on and on and on. And that cross just was the highlight of a absolutely awesome display from Mr. Pape Massé, Johnny.
Look, I was saying before, I mean, it was sublime. It was exceptional. I was mentioning, had that been Kevin De Bruyne making that pass, they've been waxing lyrical for hours about the quality. And, you know, this is a 21-year-old kid. I thought the movement, that whole goal, the movement for that entire goal, passing out from the back, the link play between Porro and Kulu, Kulu setting him off, him then nearly falling over, you know, when he received the ball. And then that cross, and then Maddison interpreting, you know, that ball was going to come to him, and it came at pace. It was fantastic. I just thought, you know, having got that ridiculous booking after 10 minutes where he literally slipped into him, right?
That was a ridiculous. You're right.
I mean, it was ridiculous. This is what I say. Another poor refereeing decision. He just grew into that game. He just got better and better and better. And it's funny how you noticed him everywhere, all over the pitch. You know, we said at the beginning of the season, I mean, I've said it all along. I remember I called him Baby Vieira from the Barcelona game, you know, pre-season. I've been saying he reminds me of a young Patrick Vieira. I'm not going to change my mind. I think he's exceptional. But at the time, there was this relationship between Bissouma and Sarr, where Bissouma was taking Sarr under his wing. Yeah. Well, judging by that game yesterday, for me, it was Sarr who was taking Bissouma under his wing, because Sarr was exceptional. He's running off the ball. He's positioning off the ball. He's reading of the game, when to come deep, when to go long, when to take players out and create space for others. Yeah, I mean, where is the ceiling for this kid? All right, thank God we signed him on another long-term contract.
Damn right.
You want him, you're going to have to pay stupid money. Fantastic.
Right. Who's your next choice out of the midfield three?
I'm going to go Maddison. I think Maddison has struggled since he's come back. And I said this before when I spoke to some Leicester fans. They all said that when he gets injured, it's bad enough he's out injured quite a lot, but he always seems to take 4 or 5 games before he starts to come back. And I think Roy Keane alluded to it yesterday, that it's much easier for defensive players and strikers or whatever to come back from injury. But midfielders, the touch and all the rest of it, it takes some time. And it's certainly been noticeable that he struggled for his game. Against Palace, he was constantly needing to come deep to try and find the ball. And in that first half, I found him a little bit frustrating because he was, again, having to come deep, pick up the ball. He wasn't picking up the runs of people who were running beyond that back five. Second half, though, I don't know whether it was their tiredness or the space or the fact that McGinn got sent off, but he just got better and better. I mean, his run for the goal was superb. And, you know, he got more on the ball and was releasing our players. I hope this is the start to getting back to the Maddison that we saw at the start of the season, because we are going to need that Maddison fit until the end of the season now. No more injuries, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pick about that. I mean, I saw an interview. I don't know if it was on Spurs TV or on the Canadian broadcast when we were watching it, but he even said himself that he felt this game was the first time he felt like he was getting back to where he was fitness-wise and everything. the way he started the season, which is positive. I think he needed that goal. He needed that goal. He got an assist against Palace. Needed to get back amongst the goals, and like I said, he hasn't looked himself or the high standards he set himself at the beginning of the season, where he started off on absolute fire, and he is finally starting to show glimpses. He needs to improve and needs to get that consistency. But like you said, Johnny, he needs to get back to where he was at the beginning of the season. Hopefully, he will do. But a goal and assist in his last 2 games, cannot say fairer than that. And then, there you go. Thanks, C. It was on Match of the Day too. Cheers, buddy. Right, so you left me with Basuma. What I will say with Basuma is I have seen a difference in him the last 2 games. Wolves, he was absolutely shocking. And I was like, why are you even starting against Palace? But obviously, Sarr with his back were monitoring it. But I think in the last 2 games, he started to show glimpses of somewhat return to form. Against Palace, I thought it was very, very good. Sloppy occasionally against Villa yesterday, but there certainly looks like he's turning the corner and getting slowly and gradually going on an upwards. I can't say this word whenever I try to say trajectory. I did say it. Woo! So yeah, I see glimpses of him coming back, Johnny. Still want to see more from him, but he's getting there, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, look, he made that bad pass, but let's be balanced here. He did that bad pass, then he cost us. But when Romero made that mistake, he did fantastic to block Bailey in the box there. He really did. He held him up well, and it looked like a really, really dangerous moment. He snuffed that out. So credit where credit's due. I didn't notice him a lot in the second half. There was a lot flashier performances in that game. So we're probably highlighting his mistake, but there was one moment where he got the block in. Next,
it's my turn to pick the front 3, and I'm picking my man of the match. Someone, and there are a lot of people. I've been on this show and other shows defending this guy, seeing that there is something there and trying to do all I can. And don't get me wrong, there's been times where I've been like, oh shit, it looks like I'm in the mud because I just can't see it. But people that are slating Brennan Johnson, like yourself, Johnny, but the difference with you, Johnny, is you will say, do you know what? And you will, one of the things you have to mind, I always say this, if people are big enough to throw credit and give and sling mud, you have to be bad enough to say, do you know what? Well played. Exactly what Colin just said. When I saw him on the left wing and starting, I was like, oh no, we're starting him on his weaker position. This is what got having a bad game and all the mud being thrown at him, written all over it. I actually would have loved to have seen, if not just in this game, if we were going to go for it with pace, Johnson, Werner. Just for their pace alone, if they're going to destroy a team. But he played Johnson at the left. Right move. I think it was his best performance. In the first half, he was our best forward by a country mile. In the second half, he was got amongst the goals again. That's an assist and a goal last couple of games. He's come on against other teams, had an impact sub. He is starting to grow in confidence. His defensive, people were slating his defensive contributions. He was doing that in the first half and in the second. His aggression, as people have been mentioning, when McGinn did it to Destiny, there is I said this time next year, I even said it on Tottenham away on Friday when I was on with Matthew. I said this time next year or after January, people will be talking about Brennan Johnson in a completely different light. And if people cannot stand and say, do you know what? He played well and he had a very good game yesterday, then listen, there's no point, because you are allowed. I can slate this football club till kingdom come and berate them ownership and how much I hate them. But I can still talk about what goes on the pitch. And yesterday, love him, hate him, whatever, Brennan Johnson had a very good game. Period, Johnny.
Yeah. Look, I'm not gonna apologise for speaking about observations. Okay.
I'm right.
When I give my observations, I've always said I do not hate Brendan Johnson, right? Okay. But these are the observations I made, right? I said he wasn't aggressive enough. He didn't run at the players enough. He didn't track back enough. Okay. But he was obviously lacking confidence. Okay. I also mentioned last week that I noticed there were signs of that aggression for that first goal against Palace, where he came through 3 challenges, okay, to win the ball, okay, and then crossed that ball for the goal. I was surprised that he started over Werner, because Werner had just come off the back of his best game, but he was everything in that game which I complained about: aggression, taking his players on, tracking back, and playing consistently for the amount of time he was on the pitch, not going missing. And as I said before, with the Udogie incident, he was the first in the firing line, pushing and pointing him. Confidence breeds confidence. And hopefully now he goes on to have an extremely strong end to the season. I shall, from this day forth, stop referring to him as Brendan Johnson and go back to referring to him as Brennan Johnson. And the reason I did that, as I said before, and I made no bones about it, was he needed to change some of his aspects of his game.
Correct.
He'd been working on it, and it was there for all to see. And yesterday he was outstanding.
Exactly. And Johnny, fair play. Do you know what? This is one of the things that people don't take from this show. Me and Johnny started off this season absolutely never wanting to see Porro right back ever.
Well, I don't know about that. I just said...
I did, mate. I never wanted to slow. Right back, not right wing, right back. Never wanted to see him. I never wanted to see him now. I was absolutely all over him, saying he's useless at defending. Now I think he's absolutely subliminal. You have to be able to see that there has been progress, and there is. Listen, some players don't come in and just set the world alight. It don't happen. Some take time. Do I think he's a £50 million player? No, I don't right now. People are going, oh, I don't see him doing Gareth Bale overhead kicks against Real in a Champions League final. When we signed him from Southampton, I didn't see him doing an overhead kick for Real Madrid in the Champions League final. It takes time. Yes, I would have liked him to have been playing like this sooner, but he's now showing signs of what we signed, and long may it continue. Johnny, sorry, but you're one. Who are you going to talk about? Captain or Kulu?
No, I'm going to go for Sonny.
Okay.
I heard he's quite popular in Asia. Big up to all our Korean followers if you're up and about this time of the day and tuning in. It's amazing, really, because although Sonny wasn't outstanding in all the game, in the first half, he wasn't massively involved. He still managed to score a goal and have 2 assists, right? That's how important he is to the club. We need to make plans post Sonny, because I think if you took Sonny out of this squad, we wouldn't be what we are right now. I don't know how you replace. Look, we've already lost Harry Kane.
Yep.
Generational. Sonny is generational. There hasn't been a bigger Asian player in football.
Yep.
Worldwide. There hasn't been. He's the biggest Asian worldwide, right? And, Harry Kane is still proving it out in Germany. He's exceptional. To lose 2 players like that in the space of, say, 2 or 3 years is going to be very hard for us. So I hope the boys and the scouts are searching hard across the globe for players that could potentially fill these voids. Because even when he doesn't play great or he wasn't outstanding, I mean, I see some people gave him man of the match based on the fact that he scored the goal and made 2 assists. You can't argue with that. But I thought Destiny, Johnson and Sarr, for me, were the 3 better players.
Do you know what? One thing I've been looking at it closely since he's come back, and it's something I hadn't seen from Sonny recently, and it's just my interpretation. So he'd been doing it, but a lot of people focused on not just how good Brennan Johnson's assist was for Palace, but Son's movement off the ball to drag defenders out. His movement is something I think he's added to his game, or something that I haven't noted. He's adapting and realising. I think, actually, do you know what? When you and I went to Burnley, the second goal of his hat-trick, when Manor Solomon and he stepped back, he's adding this to his game. And you know what? That's his 14th goal, Premier League goal of the season. He loves scoring against Villa. He's come back from the Asian Cup, and he's come back meaning business. And as well as Richie has been doing, and we all know how we feel about Richie here, there's no way back for him at the moment. I just can't, and that's not me saying it in a bad way. I just can't see you taking Son out. Johnson or Werner I just can't see at the moment.
You're missing the point, Brian. Brian, you're missing the point here, right? And this is, I keep saying it, and I keep saying it over and over again. This is not a first 11 game of football. This is a squad.
Oh,
game,
of course. Right? That bench is now looking brilliant.
Yeah, we need all of these players fit. We need Manor Solomon back. We need everyone back, because there are going to be moments over the next 10, 11 games where we got injuries. I mean, our injury record is a joke. We need to overhaul our medical department. I don't care what anyone says. Oh, it's this, it's that. No, I'm sorry. You know, I just think that you know, we need. There's something fundamental. Ryan, I'm not saying he had a bad game. I'm just saying Son,
no, of course,
it's incredible. But I'm saying when you highlight it, the flashier performances were from the three other contributors.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it now. You've left me with Kulu, and I've been very, very critical of Kulu. And in the first half, if he'd carried on in that manner, I would have been extremely critical of him. And the reason I'm so critical of him recently is because all the great work he normally does up top, he does it in his defensive work, his bringing the ball out, his holding the ball up is phenomenal. But I want to see more from him up top. And in the second half, that was more like the Kulu I want to see and the Kulu I know. He had a very, very good second half, involved heavily in 3 of the goals in some form. And that's what I want to see from him. I just want to see that kind of second half performance from him a lot more often. In the second half, he had a very, very good performance, Johnny. Your thoughts on Kulu? Big up Sherman.
I thought Kulu had a good game. I mean, that the release for Sarr was fantastic. I thought he had a good second half. Yeah, first half, again, I think a lot of us struggled in that first half, to be honest. Second half, I thought he was very good. Yeah, his link-up play for the first was good. And, you know, he looked strong in that second half. But there was a lot of space. There's a lot more space. You know, I'm going to reserve judgment until I see how we play against Fulham.
Correct. It's a huge game. It's a huge.
You know, no excuses. I don't want to hear excuses that Fulham with this, Fulham with that. You know, if we are top 4 material, then we have to go there and win.
Exactly. So, right, let's go through the subs. Your first.
Well, for me, it's got to be Enter the Dragusin, right?
Do you really like it?
He came into that game, a really feisty, angry game, like it was nothing. It was like a stroll in the park for him. What I really loved about him was his command of the ball, his interceptions, his reading of the game. But the highlight for me was the way he progressed the ball so quickly. Get that ball, bang, straight forward, right? That's Angeball. That's what Angeball is. Not like standing up, looking around, passing a little bit left or right. He looked to progress the ball quickly to the front, and that's how you overcome a counter attack, right? When they're on the other team are on the offensive, quick balls. Not a little ball to the left and a little one to the right, allowing players to get back. He did that, I think, on 3 occasions that I can remember. He even got a shot right between the nuts, and he laid down and jumped straight back up again. You know, he did a BG impression for the first 5-10 minutes, but after that, he was fine. I think he's going to be imposing. I expect him to be scoring goals with his head.
Yeah, I mean,
pieces.
he's so dominant. I mean, he looked very, very good when he came on. It's good to finally see him get some solid minutes. A shame it was at the expense of Van der Ven's injury. But if Van der Ven is not fit for Fulham, we will be seeing him make his full debut. And after seeing that, I'm excited to see what this man can do. Now, going to very, very briefly touch on one sub because we'll talk about the other sub a lot more. I just want to talk about Pierre-Emile Hoddle. Did you see that run? He came on and took about 3 or 4 players on with the little drops of the shoulders. I was like, what the hell am I watching? It was, I couldn't believe, and I'm a fan of Pierre. I think he's on his way out, and I think it's time.
Or is he?
I think. Listen, he's changed agents again. I think whether we like it or not, he sees it as he's moving club at the end of the season. But I have to highlight that that little bit of brilliance that put a smile to my face to just see him doing it. Phil P, yeah, Danny the Bun did look a lot taller than usual coming on for Van der Ven. You're right. I saw him on Tottenham away yesterday. It's always good to see Danny. But yeah, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Johnny.
Yeah, look, he's been a fantastic servant. I think the disrespect he gets is terrible. You know, he didn't miss a game for like 3 years.
Yeah,
people have got very short memories. Yeah, I've got nothing but admiration for him. He's a warrior, he's a workhorse. He'll always be there. He'll come on and you know, do as required. And Ange has always spoken highly of him for being a calming influence. The guy can come on the pitch late and secure things and shore things up. I don't care if he stays. I'm quite happy if he stays. It's up to Ange and up to him. You know, we shall find out in the summer. This summer is going to be probably the most crucial summer transfer window in a long time to see how serious Levy is about backing the manager or where we go from here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I have to say, I hate when I hear people say, "Oh, this summer is the window we see where."
Well, it is.
No, John, let me finish. I was going to say every single window I hear this bullshit, but for once, this window with the position we're in financially and how we can take advantage before the Premier League change their rules to suit Man City, Chelsea, and all the other big clubs. And if we have Champions League football, and if this window is the window, and this time there's no bullshit excuses. There's no bullshit excuses. If we do not do serious business, and when I say serious, I don't mean £80 million players north at every single where. If we go into the season once the window closed and Ange hasn't got the players in the position he wants, then there are no sodding excuses, and I will not take any of them. I will be look. Listen, because of my health, I've taken my foot off the pedal when it comes to Levy out because my health has taken over everything. After the season ticket price and everything like that, I'm firmly back on the accelerator and playing catch up. This window, be all and end all, no fucking excuses from that prick up the top. But last person to talk about before we go on to Ange is Timo Werner.
Yeah, so Timo on the dance floor. Look, I know it's not popular decision, but I do actually believe that it's worth triggering his release clause if, big if, he's willing to drop his wages, because I can't see us paying 165 grand a week. But you know, you cannot. I know people saying, "Oh, but I'd rather that the money was 15 million, right?" You get nothing for 15 million. Yeah, but we could put that 15 million to a better player. I understand that. I understand that. But like I said before, this is a squad game. And I believe that Angeball is perfect for Timo. Does he need to score more goals? 100%, right? But he has pace, he has power, he has a great football IQ. I think he's going to offer us plenty in this squad. There was no mention of that very nice finish from Son's ball when he opened up the side of his foot and put that ball in. Could easily have missed that. Werner of old would have missed that. I believe he's growing in confidence of this team. I love the way that Son grabbed hold of him and pushed him in his back towards the fans to accept the accolade for that finish, because I think it was a really good finish, to make him feel part of it. And I think that's all about growing his confidence. I think a confident Timo Werner for £15 million and a drop in salary is an asset to Spurs squad, because look how many injuries we have. When we're in Europe next season, right? I'm sorry, I don't want to be playing if we're in the Carabao Cup or we're in whatever competition we're in, that we haven't got anybody and we're having to play some second-rate player. I'm quite happy for Timo to be in there. I know it's not going to be a popular decision. There's still more to his game, but he's got 2 in 2.
Yep.
Okay. And his game, he had his best game against Palace. So let's embrace it. We can do this for, Richie's improved his game. Johnson has improved his game. And, Timo's been here 5 minutes and he looks like he's improving his game. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I have to say, listen, I think Werner took his goal exceptionally well.
Yeah.
First time to open his foot up, to get that fade on the ball.
Yeah.
I'm always one of those that say if the ball's going into the side net and it don't matter what goal is there, you're not saving it. It was a very well-placed finish. He came on late. That's 2 games in 2 goals after people doubting what he could do. Listen, it's 2 games, 2 goals. I want to see more from him. Hopefully now he will start getting the confidence. I think now let's say the Fulham game comes along and he gets that opportunity he missed against Crystal Palace, he's hitting that first time into the back of the net like Heung-min Son. It's the strikers need confidence. We hear about Sonny being a streaky player or this one being a streaky player. Let's just hope Timo will now contribute a lot more regularly. The confidence has got to be flowing through him. And listen, it's 2 games from 2 goals from 2 games. That's all we can hope for, and hope he continues. I have to say, Ryan said, don't forget Bentancur. The only thing I think I saw Bentancur do, in all honesty, was put one on Matty Cash.
No, look. That was going to be the finale. But I've got to say, look, Bentancur did okay. Just going back to Timo, I think narratives in football are prevalent. I mean, you look at Darwin Núñez. I was a massive fan of Darwin Núñez before he went to Liverpool, and I was praying that Spurs were going for him, but we weren't going to pay 85 million, whatever they paid for him. He has missed more chances than Werner and Richarlison put together.
Yep.
I don't see the Liverpool fans slaughtering him. I see encouragement consistently from those Liverpool fans. He's almost like an idol already up there, right? And yet, I don't know what he scored, 10 goals. I don't know how many chances he's missed or how many times he's hit the post, the bar. There's compilation shots of all his misses. You need to give players time. I still think Darwin Núñez is a class player, right? Might be in the minority, but that's what I believe. I think eventually you overcome these situations, and I believe that both Richarlison and Timo will overcome them. Bentancur, though, he came on, he looked very comfortable again. Again, we need everyone fit. Don't bring him on. Now, I'm delighted that Sarr and Basuma are back so that we don't need to rush Lolo back. But the tackle, a little bit of afters on Matty Trash was fantastic. Yep.
And I can see in the chat there's been some heated debate. Guys, listen, there are people
fight
that want to say celebrate mediocrity. There's other people that want to say, listen, be happy for the positives, and there are.
I wonder who that could be.
Listen, it's like we said, when we do this show, this is how Johnny and I interpret the game. Doesn't mean we're 100% right. It's how we see things. But guys, at least please be respectful to each other. One of the great things that we talk about on Tottenham on Tour is respect, and the work that we do when it comes to mental health and being polite and a family and a community. So please be respectful of each other, regardless.
Can I just say, if we can't celebrate or bask in the glory of a 4-0 win, then I'm sorry. Those people who are saying we celebrate mediocrity, like, do yourselves a favour, right? Have a look at yourselves, right? Okay, we're in here. I'm the first one to criticise. I get told I'm overly critical, but that's what these shows are about. There's no point sitting here and just waxing lyrical about everything and ignoring what you can see you think is something that can be improved. I can assure you that Ange doesn't sit there after every 4-0 game and say, oh, yeah, it was amazing. He was critical yesterday that he thought we were wasteful. Yes, we played really well, but we were wasteful in front of goal and we could have easily have scored more, right?
Yep.
You always got to, it's always moving. But mediocrity, yeah, okay. We've just lost the best striker in the world. And, we've got a new manager and we've had the worst injury crisis I can ever remember. And we're sat, 2 points off fourth.
And I have to say, you said with a new manager, let's move on to the big man himself. Your thoughts on Ange yesterday, Johnny?
A lot less grunting. It's the same old Ange. It's the same Ange. He's not getting carried away. I did like the highlight for me of the week was the comment on getting Champions League, like winning the number in the Willy Wonka lottery. Right? It means nothing. Right? Getting Champions League wins you nothing. It gets you nothing. Yes, It's a sense of achievement, but it gets you nothing. I'm in the game to win things. Now that for me is heartwarming. That is for me is music to my ears. Because we all complain as Spurs fans. Most of the Levy out fans do, that top four is not a trophy, and he's saying and magnifying those sentiments exactly. So let's applaud that. Didn't get carried away with the 4-0 because he 100% knows we've got to go and do it at Fulham. We have to win the next 3 or 4 games, because that run of games that we've got coming up, it could all easily implode. We don't want any more injuries than we've got. And the news that Mickey van der Ven, I don't know how it's rumours, I've been on here, that he could be out for 3 months is a disaster.
Yep. But listen, I have to say, one of the things I have done recently, or since the Palace win, is I've looked and seen what a lot of Celtic fans were saying about Ange. And a lot of them were saying, obviously, exactly what you've just mentioned, that this man, I have to say, a lot of the stuff he is saying is exactly what Antonio Conte said, but he's doing it in a more dignified manner. It's the same sentiment as what Conte was saying, but obviously Conte exploded, and fair play to him. I think it's the best thing to happen under Levy, a manager telling it how it is. He's doing it in a more dignified manner, but I have seen a lot of Celtic fans recently saying that wait till the end of the season, Ange has his players primed for an end of the season push. Now, Crystal Palace, we got the job done. Yesterday, the second half looked a lot more. I think the second half yesterday, whether Villa were tired, whether they went down to 10 men, that second half performance was a lot more, probably the most complete second half we've had since the first 10 games of the season, in my honest opinion. And let's hope that what the Celtic fans are saying, that they've seen in close quarters, is ready. If you look at it, the players are getting back. We are, apart from Van der Ven, who obviously could be a huge miss, the players are coming back. We have the chance right now to rotate. We have options available. Timo Werner starting to chip in. Brennan Johnson starting to get better. Udogie and Porro fit. Dragushin coming on. Like you said, that Johnny, that bench is taking shape as well. May not be A-listers or whatever, but compared to this time last season, that bench is a hell of a lot better than it was.
Still not deep enough, Brian.
It's still no, but we can't do anything about it, but it's still stronger.
No, 100%. But look, we know that Phillips needed minutes. We know he needed to go out on loan. But God forbid, if Romero or Dragusin gets injured or Romero gets injured, we're back to Ben Davies again.
Yep. But this is the thing. So hopefully this continues, and long may it continue. Let's just hope. I mean, like you said, the next game, the next game we have to take advantage of. We now got 2 wins back to back. We have to make this 3. All this catching up and putting the pressure now on Villa. Yes, our game in hand is Chelsea away, and yes, we know what normally happens there. And yes, we're still waiting for that game to be penciled in somewhere that will screw us over.
Oh, it'll be on a Thursday night before the game on the Saturday or something.
Exactly. Of course it will. But right now, destiny is in our own hands when it comes to top 4. And I'll say it right here, right now. I want, whether we get top 4 or not, I think the most beneficial thing for Spurs, for footballing reasons, not fucking business and corporate sponsorships and whining and dining and all this bullshit, Europa League is best suited for us for the footballing aspect. Champions League, yes, it'll be great to get it, but I know what we'll get. Champions League music, Champions League money, and Europa League players.
Well, we might. Well, you look, we attracted very good players without any European football at all.
Yep.
So, one would like to think that, potentially, look, the thing is, for me, the concerning for me, I think the title is in our hands.
Correct.
If we beat Man City and beat Liverpool, but lose to Arsenal, it's a disaster, right?
Yeah.
I'm in some ways happy to get top 4, drop points against Liverpool and Man City with draws or what have you, and then beat the scum. For me, this is what a game that is going to be against the Arsenal.
Exactly. Oh, mate, I can't wait. And do you know what? On that note, because Johnny's got somewhere to be, I've got things to do. What I will say is after this show finishes, it's automatically going to redirect you to Ben, the coffee house, the coffee company stream. So if you want your place of chill, go over to Ben. I want to say there's 530 of you over all platforms watching it, which is a record high for us recently. Really, really appreciate all your...
The return of the team, Brian.
Yeah, mate, the dream team are back in, and we're up to 158 likes, so thank you very much.
Drop that like, guys. On the
smash that like if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitter and you're following it through my Twitter space or my Twitter page, the link to YouTube is there. If you can just hit that link and then hit the like button, that would be absolutely awesome. I will be back with more pre-recorded stuff this week. I'll make goddamn sure of it. But Johnny, my partner in crime, as always, thank you so much. Where can people find you?
Find me here, Johnny H32, 32. Also on my profile page bio, you can see the link to my Instagram account, which I'm trying to build back up after it was banned. It's gone from 9,500 to 120. So if anyone's on Instagram, likes videos and stuff posted, try and build that up. Give me a follow. Appreciate it. Brian, as always, fantastic. It's been a great show. Guys, it's good housekeeping. Like when you go out to close the door, when you go out, hit that like button, guys. It helps with our algorithm to try and grow the channel. Thank you very much for watching. And for all you Ange lovers, okay, it's game by game by game, okay?
Yep.
Negativity is, it's just part and parcel of it, it's just comments. Not everyone is exceptional in every game.
Exactly. And all I will say is, again, thank you for everyone saying great show. This is a show that we are very, very proud of. I want to thank everyone for all the well wishes people have been giving me whilst I fight this bloody illness I'm currently suffering. But all I will say is thanks. We will be back Sunday, midday UK time. We are playing Saturday, with the late game Saturday, aren't we? So Sunday, midday, we will back with Ange-r Management, hopefully discussing another 3 points. And as long as it's better than the Fulham Carabao Cup performance, this will be a good Ange-r Management to watch. So what I will say is thank you everyone for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, Levy out.
Come on, you Spurs.
Tottenham.